Welcome to Play Dirty. Shane Black's loud, retro, and bloody fun take on the streamer heist genre. Here's a quick rundown before we jump in. It's directed and co-written by Shane Black, based on Donald E. Westlake's Parker novels, and stars Mark Wahlberg as Parker, surrounded by a fantastic cast. The film runs just over 2 hours and will be available on Prime Video starting October 1, 2025. If you're looking for the quick facts, you can find them in the description below. So, welcome back to Screen Time with Aza. Don't forget to subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. Get comfy. If you enjoy action comedies that have a retro vibe and a hint of nihilism, all while giving a nod to the 80s and then throwing a punch for laughing, this movie is definitely for you. Even if that's not your thing, you'll still find yourself watching, because Play Dirty knows how to draw you in with its sharp dialogue, vibrant scenes, and a lead character who isn't exactly aiming to be your favorite. Let's take a stroll through the movie together. I'll break down the story, highlight the standout scenes frame by frame, point out the technical aspects that shine or stumble, and wrap it all up with a fair verdict at the end. Let's dive in. The movie kicks off with a bang, plunging us straight into a wild horse-track heist. This isn't your typical subtle robbery, it's a full-on explosion of chaos featuring horses, jockeys, a vault, and the unmistakable scent of panic in the air. Right from the start, Shane Black sets the tone. Expect loudness, a touch of absurdity, and a wicked sense of playfulness. What's meant to be a slick, professional job, a classic Parker heist, quickly spirals out of control in the most extravagant way imaginable. A parking attendant hilariously confuses the robbers for the victims, cars and horses collide, and chaos transforms into a spectacular action scene. This opening scene makes it clear, we're not here for any moral high ground, we're here for the laughs, the snappy one-liners, and the wonderfully bizarre energy. So, why kick things off like this? There are 2 reasons. First, it quickly immerses us in Parker's world, a place where talent collides with bad luck, and meticulous plans are often upended by improvisation. Second, it gives the audience the green light to just enjoy the ride. By the time the film dives deeper into the absurd, you're already on board with the tone. After the robbery, we dive into one of the film's most intense moments, a hideout scene that introduces us to Zen, portrayed by Rosa Salazar. Zen makes her entrance in a way that catches both the characters and the audience off guard. She tears away the facade and then launches into a swift, ruthless massacre, taking out the crew in the blink of an eye, leaving Parker barely hanging on. It's a harsh yet eye-opening moment. This scene serves 2 key purposes. It showcases Zen's dangerously unpredictable nature and highlights the film's knack for mixing humor with life-or-death stakes. From a storytelling standpoint, it's clever writing. Such an immediate and violent betrayal shifts Parker's position entirely. He's no longer just a thief on a job, he's a man who must reckon with those who have tried to bring him down. This sets the stage for Parker's next chapter, tracking down Zen, uncovering her reasons for turning, and forming a fragile alliance to pull off a heist that's bigger than either of them ever anticipated. Shane Black has a knack for ensemble casts. After facing betrayal and a near miss, Parker sets out to assemble a team, each member bringing their own unique quirk, skill, and a touch of dark humor. Among the standout performances, Lakeith Stanfield's Grofield is soft-spoken until he's not, providing a cool contrast to Parker. Keegan-Michael Key injects a dose of manic commentary. Nat Wolff portrays the anxious assistant who hilariously turns into a human hand grenade, and Tony Shalhoub takes on a surprising role as the grumpy corporate fixer with his own selfish agenda. Black cleverly uses this ensemble to deliver snappy dialogue and quick, punchy exposition. The film's slower moments tend to focus less on character development and more on logistics. The real highlights come when the actors' charisma overshadows the plot, exchanging witty banter like it's a competitive sport. This choice is deliberate, ensuring the film keeps its momentum even when the storyline feels like a scavenger hunt. What's the prize, you ask? It's the Lady of Arantero, a stunning golden figurehead from a 15th century Spanish galleon. This piece is not just a relic, it's heavy, mythic, and encased in a high-tech cage made of tungsten and carbon alloy. The whole idea feels delightfully retro. A tangible treasure that could easily belong in a museum, a secure vault, or even lying at the bottom of the ocean. There's something thrillingly old school about the notion of stealing a statue in 2025. This isn't about hacking into a crypto wallet or solving a cold case data mystery. No, this is all about raw power, cleverness, and a chaotic blend with modern technology. That mix is what gives the film its unique flavor. The galleon storyline allows Black to really shine with some spectacular set pieces, think break-ins, underwater escapades, vault mechanics, and an exhilarating scene featuring a speeding subway train, all orchestrated by one of Key's characters. We'll dive into each of these sequences in detail soon, but the key takeaway is this: the heist is a perfect blend of a mechanical puzzle and a dazzling pyrotechnic showcase. Let's take a moment to rewind and break it down frame by frame. The horse-track chase kicks off the movie with a bang. The cinematography here is almost joyfully chaotic, rapid cuts of hoofbeats, tracking shots that swing to cars jostling through the paddock, and close-ups that capture the sheer panic on people's faces. The rhythm of the editing is key, it really drives home the absurdity of the scene. Shane Black and his editing team know when to let the moment breathe during the big scenes, then tighten things up for comedic punch during the quieter moments. When you're showing B-roll, you might want to highlight details like, you can practically see the horse's sweat flying as the camera shifts to the jockey, you can feel the impact of the car as it crashes into the rail, then it cuts to Parker's face, tight, patient, and deadpan. That contrast is where the film discovers its comedic essence. A hideout scene is brief and precise. Zen's reveal feels like a magic trick. The audience is led one way, and then the punchline hits with a gunshot. Here, the sound design takes precedence over the visuals, the sharp clack of safety catches, the rapid fire shots, and the eerie silence that follows the kills. It's a real shock to the system. Mark Wahlberg's Parker is all about reactions rather than dialogue. He dodges bullets and thinks in terms of movement. This is what 21st century action minimalism looks like: less chatter, more thrilling action. When Zen clears the room, Parker doesn't shout or curse. Instead, he takes a deep breath. The camera focuses on the little details: the ash from his cigarette drifting down, Parker's hand brushing over a wound, the bitter taste of betrayal lingering in his mouth. The recruitment montage is slick and to the point. We get introduced to the tech whiz who can make subway trains act up, the muscle who knows how to break into tungsten cages, and the con artist who can charm a billionaire into buying nothing but cold air. Each character gets a quirky visual or a quick line to set them up, and then the film moves right along. This montage is a classic caper move, it keeps the story tight while still laying out the stakes and skills of the crew. One of the film's standout moments features a subway console and a character who excitedly cranks up the speed. The scene is playful and ramps up the tension with each increase. 30 miles per hour, then 35, then 40. The humor is subtle, but the danger feels very real. The comedy here lies in the casual cruelty, a hallmark of Shane Black's writing. Yet, this sequence also highlights the film's delicate balance. When the jokes hit, the scene flows beautifully. But when they miss, the audience can feel a disconnect, as the physics start to feel off or the stakes seem a bit forced. If you're looking to critique, it's worth noting that the film sometimes gets a bit lost. Mistaking style for substance. Sure, a flashy scene with some shaky logic might not ruin the enjoyment, but it definitely gives critics something to grab onto. Outlets like Variety have pointed out the film's blend of vintage charm and predictable plotting, a point we'll revisit when we discuss the final verdict. Rosa Salazar's character, Zen, is the wild card here. She brings unpredictable violence wrapped in a layer of vulnerability. Lakeith Stanfield adds an emotional twist. He can be calm one moment and then erupt the next. Together, these three create a triangle: Parker's blunt force, Zen's unpredictability, and Grofield's relatable core. This dynamic serves as the emotional heart of the movie. Tony Shalhoub, stepping out of his usual roles, plays the corporate planner Lozini, a guy who treats crime like it's just another accounting issue. He's grumpy, rude, and has a touch of humor. Almost like a referee in the game of capitalism. On the other side, Chukwudi Iwuji's billionaire character is the film's shiny trophy, indifferent, dangerous, and absurdly rich. Shane Black presents them as human monsters who can be bargained with, yet also taken down with a bullet. There's a hint of satire here. The theft of the lady serves as a metaphor for wealth expropriation, but the film doesn't dwell on moral lessons. Instead, it lets the violence speak for itself. Let's break it down. Technically, the film does a lot right with its bold camera movements and sharp editing. However, it falters in maintaining a consistent tone. When it aims for gritty realism, it sometimes holds back, and when it tries to be humorous, it occasionally misses the punchline. A big topic of discussion surrounding Play Dirty is its tone. This film is a violent comedy that often turns murder into a punchline. Some viewers might revel in the dark humor, while others could be put off by the nonchalant approach to violence. In a review from Variety, critics described the film as having a casual homicidal edge, which can be seen as both a compliment and a warning. The movie encourages you to laugh at its brutality and appreciate the skill behind it without getting bogged down in moral judgments. That's what drives its entertainment value. If that idea makes you feel a bit uneasy, you're definitely not alone. If you're watching it at home, the first act will hit you right in the chest. The middle part engages your mind, while the ending delivers a real gut punch. As for the top reasons to tune in: 1. The audacious opening horse track scene, 2. The shocking betrayal in the hideout, 3. The escalating tension in the subway console, 4. The satisfying payoff of the galleon heist, and 5. The chaotic yet fulfilling final showdown. These moments, in that order, form the backbone of the film. If you're cool with spoilers, let's dive into the final act. The tension ramps up in a way that's both predictable and satisfying. The team's pieces start to fit together, a couple of double crosses pop up, and Parker's tough exterior softens with little gestures that hint at a heart beating beneath the armor. The climax brings back almost every motif we've seen before: the tightness of the subway, the heaviness of the galleon, and a final showdown that feels as much like a dance as it does a resolution for the characters. Here's the quick take: check it out if you're into chaotic, violent, retro heists with a standout performance at the center. Pass if you're not into laughs that come with a side of death, or if you're looking for a heist flick that breaks new ground. Critics seem to agree on one thing: Play Dirty is fun, throwaway entertainment that's often darkly hilarious, just as Shane Black intended. Variety put it nicely, calling it violently entertaining and disposable, a mix of praise and caution all in one. If you like the nice guys and can embrace the violence and tone, you're likely to have a good time with this one. To wrap things up, Play Dirty doesn't hold back. It's packed with gleeful violence, a touch of viciousness, and a delightful kind of silliness that makes it all the more enjoyable. This retro action comedy knows how to be cheeky while flashing a grin. Mark Wahlberg delivers a tight, impactful performance at the center, while the supporting cast expertly juggles comic timing and unexpected bursts of violence. Directed by Shane Black, the film has the confident flair of someone who truly understands the game. It's not aiming for high art, and it doesn't pretend to be, but it nails its goal: to be a loud, muscular, slightly offbeat piece of entertainment. If you're planning to check out Prime Video this October, you might want to give Play Dirty a shot. You could find yourself laughing, cringing, or even itching to see the stunt reels afterward. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss the next deep dive. Let me know in the comments, which scene do you think deserves a slow motion breakdown next? Catch you in the next one.